Welcome to iLecture Online. Our next rule is actually a very simple rule, but sometimes some of the applications can be confusing, so we added a few examples to try and clarify those. But the rule is as follows. If we have two numbers multiplied together and that product is raised to an exponent, that exponent actually applies to each of the factors in the multiplication. In other words, this is equal to x to the n power times y to the n power. But we do have to be careful. We've shown you this particular pitfall before. If it's not a multiplication but an addition instead, you cannot apply that rule. This is not equal to this. And this is a very common mistake that we see. So don't try to use the rule if this is not a multiplication. So once you realize it's a multiplication and you have an exponent, you simply apply the exponent to each of the factors in the multiplication. So this is x cubed, y cubed. Even when there's multiple factors in there, for example, if you have the x, y, z raised to the third power, this is x to the third power times y to the third power times z to the third power. So the exponent applies to each of the factors in the multiplication. If you have something like this, 2x to the fourth power, that is equal to 2 to the fourth power times x to the fourth power. And since 2 to the fourth power is 16, you can write this as 16 times x to the fourth power. What if you have 3x squared, the quantity raised to the third power? Now we have to go back to that rule like this. We have an exponent raised to an exponent, we multiply exponents. So you can think of it as separating the two factors. You have the factor 3, so it's 3 raised to the third power, times x squared raised to the third power. And then when you look at this by itself, you realize, that's the rule. When you have an exponent raised to another exponent, you multiply exponents. So 3 cubed is 27, times x squared raised to the third power, which is x times 2 raised to the 2 times 3 power, or x to the 6th power. And so that's how you handle that. What if you have a negative? Well, think of the negative as a negative sign, and notice the negative is inside the parentheses. So therefore, this exponent applies to the negative, it applies to the 3, and it applies to the x. There's essentially three factors there. That negative represents a negative 1. And so it's negative 1 raised to the third power, 3 raised to the third power, x raised to the third power, and negative 1 raised to the third power is indeed a negative 1. 3 cubed is 27, x to the third is x to the third, so it becomes negative 27x to the third. If instead you have negative times 3x raised to the third power, this exponent does not apply to the negative, but since it's an odd exponent, this still will be negative 3 cubed x cubed, and it still will be negative 27x cubed. Only if this is a even exponent, then you don't have that particular advantage. So in other words, if it's negative 3x squared, this will be negative times 3 squared times x squared, and so this becomes negative 9x squared. And notice that even though it's an even exponent, it does not apply to the negative sign because it was not inside the parentheses. If, however, it is negative 3x quantity squared, that would be negative 1 squared times 3 squared times x squared, and this would indeed be, I guess I could put on the outside, and this would indeed be a positive 9x squared. Now take a look at this one over here. Notice again, if you have negative 3x to the fourth power, this applies to the negative, it applies to the 3, it applies to the x. So this is negative 1 to the fourth power, 3 to the fourth power, x to the fourth power. So this indeed does become 81x to the fourth power. So hopefully with these examples you can see that the rule is very simple, but sometimes when it deals with negative signs or their exponents inside the parentheses, that you do have to use some of those other rules in order to get the right answer. But now this rule should be fairly easy to follow at this point, and that is how it's done.